All right. Speaking of the Mets, we'll come back to the Mets here. Clay Holmes signs 3 years, $38 million, and reportedly the Mets want to put him in the rotation.
Well, they have to because they've got nobody. Like,
Well, facts. I mean, you got Kodai Senga and everybody else left for free agency. So,
yeah, you got like McGill and guys like that who are like fringe guys, but you don't have a clear staff right now.
well, and Frankie Montas, they did sign him last
Oh
week,
yeah, I'm
but
sorry, they just did Montas.
but I mean, he couldn't even get guys out in one inning. How does he translate to a starter? How do you see this going?
I think the only thing I can come up with to make this make sense is the fact that Holmes struggled in high leverage situations. He struggled with runners on late in games. As a starter, you're coming into the first. You start off with a clean inning every inning. You just have to go out there and pitch and get outs. And if you give up a bomb in the first inning, well, the game's not over. So I think the Mets. I mean, his stuff is great. I mean, Holmes is really good stuff.
No.
He was struggling to locate it, and he made way too many two strike mistakes. And Yankees fans can give you a whole rant on what happened with him, but his stuff is good. And I think if you can get the pressure off of him, just say, "Hey, look, go out there and throw us 5 innings. Don't get lit up. Give up 3 or 4 runs. We'll be okay." I think he might translate well to a starter because his issue was when the games got tight, his stuff fell apart. Because I think high leverage situations are a different animal, first of all, and secondly, doing it in New York is also a whole nother animal.
Yeah.
He's not losing New York going across the town, but going to be into a starting role, like it's not life or death if you give up a bomb in the fourth. It is if you do that in the eighth.
Yeah, that's fair point.
That's the only thing I
And
can come up with to make it make sense.
yeah, and as the Mets proved in the playoffs, they're never out of a single game. So I mean, down by 3 doesn't matter. We'll score 4 in the ninth
Dear
and
God,
win.
no,
It's crazy.
they are not.
So yeah, I'm not. I don't know if I'm a. Maybe it's just because I am a Yankee hater, and I just don't think he's gonna translate to a starter. I mean, I could be wrong. You're right. Like his stuff can be dominant, and
Mhm.
maybe a pitching coach change is what he needs. Sometimes that's all it is. These guys switch teams, and then all of a sudden something clicks, and they're lights out.
It's a
So,
change of scenery. It's a pitch. It's a
yep,
mechanical thing. A pitching coach. It's something. But for him, getting out of the Bronx is probably good.
yeah. So interesting.
Although it does seem interesting the fact that the Mets have signed the only big signings of the Mets have been Clay Holmes and Juan Soto, both Yankees.
Right. And
They're just
Frankie
kicking them
Montas.
across town.
And Frankie Montas was with the Yankees too.
That's true. Yeah, they're just
Yeah.
plucking them from
Well,
the Yankees.
he came from the Reds, I think,
He did. I think he
but
pitched. I think he made one start for the Yankees.
yeah, or the Brewers. Where did Montas end up last year? It might have been the Brewers. I don't remember. He's been all over the place, but
He's the last few years he's been traded a lot.